Hello there guys, it's CoolFox right here, and today I'm bringing an unboxing and review of the Macaron i500 Pros. So as you can see, I have two of the same earbuds here right in front of me, and this is because I have the black and blue versions, so I will do the unboxing on the black version here, but basically the blue one is exactly the same alongside the other colors. Now before we start off with the unboxing, basically the Macaron i500 Pros are a budget version of the i500 Pros. And this is like the i12 and the i500 from the AirPods replica. So if you compare the price of these earbuds with the i500 Pros, you will find that these are actually half the price, but there is good reason for that, and we will get into that later on in this video. So starting off with the unboxing, on the front you have a picture of the AirPods alongside with a different box this time. It's not really a full-on replica, as you can see, since the box itself is quite different, but you also get an indication down here of the color of the AirPods inside. Now looking at the back, you have some specifications listed, and basically these work on Bluetooth version 5.0, have about a 10-meter range, which we will test later on in the video, and they also have a frequency response of 20 Hz to 20 kHz. So opening up the box, inside you will find the AirPods here. Underneath you will find a charging cable alongside a manual. So firstly, taking a look at this manual, apart from the Chinese language, you do have an English version here on the other side. Then as you can see, also the cable here is very different from the original one and from the original i500 Pro replicas. And as you can tell, it still charges via a lightning cable here, but it is quite shorter than the i500 Pros, and also the quality of the cable itself is worse compared to the i500 Pros. And now lastly, taking a look at the replica itself, you can tell that this is fully made out of black plastic, apart from the little hinge here, which is actually also plastic but with a silver coating to try and replicate the metal coating on the original AirPods Pro. But apart from that, they do feel a lot cheaper than the i500 Pros, and also the hinge up here does move around quite a lot, and it does also creak. And basically this does start to give away that these are not the original, apart from obviously the color not being white. Now something else to keep in mind is that there is still an LED light underneath the black plastic, and as you can see, once I open up the lid you will find the LED light. Now something that I did notice is that the blue version here has a brighter LED light, while the black version here is a lot darker. Now this can be due to the fact that the black color obviously absorbs more of the green light, or this might also be because the LED light here is positioned differently, since quality control is probably a lot less severe on these ones rather than the i500 Pros. And now that I have the blue version out, this is basically the color, and in my opinion I think the blue color actually looks better than the black, since the black one is very reflective. The blue color here is less reflective, but as you can see, even the plastic on the back here does go pretty well with the blue color. But again, you can see that the hinge is quite poorly made. Now opening up the lid and taking out the AirPods here, you can see that the left earbud here starts to flash red, and this indicates that it's trying to pair up with your phone. And basically, if you take a look at the original i500 Pros here, you can see that the dimensions are very similar, although the black part here is not seen on the Macaron i500s, and this is obviously due to the fact that the earbuds themselves are actually coated with black plastic. But nonetheless, something else that is different between these is actually the charging connector here. So as you can see, on the i500 Pros you have a little circle here with a small mesh covering which actually connects to the case itself, while on the Macaron i500 Pros you still have a circle here, but as you can see there is no mesh cover in the middle, so it only charges via these two charging points on the sides. Now if you try to put in the black Macaron i500 Pros into the i500 Pro case, they will not charge, since as I said before, these actually have a proprietary hole here on the bottom for charging. And a good thing that I did find on the Macaron i500 Pros is that they are actually controlled via the touch buttons on the bottom right here, which on the i500 Pros the touch button is actually here on the top. So the Macaron i500 Pros here actually have that even better than the original i500 Pros, but they did update the white ones here, so they now might be actually controlled via the little stick here. So again, these are a bit older than the Macaron ones, so take this last piece of information with a pinch of salt. Now taking a look here at the blue ones, you can tell that the color does pop a lot more than the black ones here, and as you can tell there is still the red LED here, of course, since these are still the same model, But they also have the black parts here showing, so if you are a fan of these black parts here, which are trying to replicate the original AirPods Pro, you should go for the blue ones instead of the black ones. And again, if you're not a big fan of the super glossy black look, you can of course choose from the plethora of other colors that are available. And also here, taking a look at the cases, you can see that the Macaron i500 Pros actually have less indentations than the i500 Pros, and this is because these ones are a lot cheaper. You can also tell here that they do have a small sticker inside, while the i500 Pros actually do not have a sticker and also have the writing found on the original AirPods Pro. And the last thing of course is the hinge itself, and as you can see, the i500 Pros is a lot sturdier, it doesn't move around as much, while the Macaron i500 Pros is a lot lighter, but it also moves a lot more. So of course the hinge on the Macaron ones are very inferior compared to the original i500 Pros. Once again, on the back you will also find writing here on the i500 Pros, while on the Macarons you will not find any writing, but you will still find the little button here on the back. So something else to keep in mind is that the original i500 Pros actually have a wireless charging case, and once I put it on a wireless charger it will start to charge without any problems. And comparing this to the Macaron i500 Pros, as you can see right here, they do not have a wireless charging case. So again, this is to be expected considering that these are half the price, but if you're going for a full-on replica, I would suggest that you go for the i500 Pros rather than the Macaron i500s. To connect these up to your phone, all you need to do is open up the case, take out the Macaron i500 Pros. You can close the case in the meantime, go into pair a new device, wait for the i500 Pros to come up, and once they do, all you need to do is press on them, and like this you're paired to the Macaron i500 Pros. These are listed as 111 instead of AirPods Pro like the i500 Pros, but again this is a minor inconvenience since at least on Android you can always go into the settings and change the name of the device, and if you want you can change them to i500 Pros or AirPods Pro or whatever you would like. But on iPhone, on the other hand, I do not know exactly how the process is, but I do believe that you can still change the name of these replicas. So now talking quickly about the touch controls on these Macaron i500 Pros, I would say that it's basically the best part about them, and they are actually quite sensitive, so it's really good to see that they did not skimp out on sensitivity, so you don't have to pinch really hard or anything of that sort, which is really good in my opinion. So for example, pinching once very slightly, making sure that you're pressing on the indentation, will pause and play the song without any problems. Double tapping on the right earbud will take you to the next track, and double tapping on the left earbud will take you back to the previous track. Now holding down any of the earbuds will actually control the volume, so in this case I'm holding down the left earbud, and as you can see it's going down in volume. And now holding down the right earbud will take the volume up to the maximum level, and it does this with relative ease and it will not misfire or anything, so this is one of the best features of these earbuds. Now something else that I find to be pretty good with these is that they do not actually have any sensors, and I say this in a positive regard since on the i500 Pros I had a lot of misfires with the sensors when the thing is that I took the AirPods out of my ears for example and it just stops the music entirely, when in fact I didn't even move or touch them at the very least. Now also talking about another positive thing is that these actually had a range far better than 10 meters, and in a straight line I managed to go around 55 feet or 16 meters without it losing any connection, and this is because it is using Bluetooth version 5.0. Now talking about the gripes, I would say that the worst thing is actually the sound quality, unfortunately, since they do sound quite muffled, and compared to the i500 Pros here, they do not even have to compete. Once you listen to the i500 Pros rather than the Macaron, you'll find that these are far better, and with a bit of EQ, the i500 Pros here are a lot better than the Macaron i500 Pros. And even with an EQ, the Macaron ones do struggle a bit as they still sound very muffled, and overall you won't have any punch in the bass, and the highs will not sound as good as the i500 Pros here. And also the maximum volume is a lot less than the i500 Pros, which is also quite sad to see. But again, if you consider the price and you just want some earbuds that look like the AirPods Pro, then the Macaron ones are for you. But if you're going for sound quality or overall quality, because even the case, as I said before, is better, then the i500 Pros, which do come at twice the price, are better for you. So I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe for more content. This was CoolFox, and I'm out. Peace.